Hey, it's Jessica Namasan with WTF Health. What's the future health? I'm talking to the who's who of health tech and healthcare innovation. And today we are diving into some exciting breaking news. Headspace Health has acquired the Shine app, which is an app that creates content that's much more diverse and inclusive, focused on self-care and mental health. And so here to tell us all about this exciting deal are the co-founder and co-CEO of the Shine app, Naomi Hirabayashi, and our good friend, the CEO of Headspace Health, Russ. Hey guys, congratulations on this big news.
Thanks, Jess. It's a very exciting day and really glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I love this. Big news, big news. Okay, cool. So, you know what, Naomi, let's dive in with you. For those who may not be familiar with the Shine app, why don't you tell us what you guys do? Because this is actually really interesting, especially at a time right now where people are looking for more content that is more representative of different populations of people, be it race, ethnicity, sexuality. You guys have had a lock on this since 2016. So tell me what you guys do.
Yeah, so we started Shine, myself and Marah, who is the other co-founder and co-CEO, simply because we were trying to solve a problem that we experienced. So we met at work. We were the only two women of color on the senior management team, and we instantly connected over shared and also different experiences. So everything from talking about our family background to both being biracial to being women in the workplace. And we realized that there was just a missing part of mainstream wellness that made us feel as seen, as supported as we did in those conversations. So everything from feeling like we were seeing our body type, or hearing voices that sounded like ours, or seeing faces that looked like ours. And so that's really where the idea of Shine came from. It was really simple. How do we make taking care of your mental health, like the single most important thing I think for any of us, more inclusive, representative, and easier? And that idea, came about in 2016. We, as a company, were able to show up and support our community in a way that we're really proud of through a divisive political climate, the fight for racial justice, the open questions around what does work even look like now. There's just been so much that we've experienced. And so we're really proud of what we achieved with our community that really said, like, yes, this is what I need. So there was a lot of like the external validation, which is always great. We got Best of 2020 by Apple and Standout Wellbeing app by Google in 2019. But most importantly, we got really good feedback from our community that we were solving something that they needed. So 1 in 3 reviews reference us as life-changing. And recently, last year, we also rolled out an enterprise offering, so supporting mental health at the workplace.
No, I saw that, and that's really cool too. So I mean, like that fits in with this whole business model that Headspace is doing over there. They've got the Headspace that goes direct to consumer, the side that's more on the enterprise side. So Russ, like I'm gonna ask you here, the terms of the deal not disclosed, but if you want to tell me, I mean, I'll keep it secret just amongst my audience. But in terms of the deal not disclosed, but looking at the Shine app as like a business, I mean, 45,000 subscribers I saw, 90 different enterprise clients. I mean, doing really well. But why acquire this as opposed to just build it yourselves? I mean, at this point, Headspace Health is like a massive mental health player in this space. Why acquire?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, well, first of all, it gets back to mission largely. I mean, if you look at the Headspace Health mission, we're trying to transform mental health care to improve the health and happiness of the world. And if you're going to accomplish that, if you're going to transform mental health care, you've got to think about all of the people in our society, right? And right now, the sad fact is there are a lot of parts of our society that are being left behind. Mental health access is a problem for everyone. But when you start to look at some of these underrepresented populations, it's a huge issue, right? And so we were on our own journey, to your point, of building content and building care that had very specific therapeutic alliance, because we know that you have to build trust in order to deliver effective mental health care. And so we've been on this journey ourselves, but when we saw and started to talk with the Shine team, it was clear that they had both an expertise, a set of talent, some of the capabilities and content they had built that would just allow us to accelerate, far faster than we could do on our own. And that's how these conversations started. And that's why we're like beyond thrilled to invite Naomi and Marah as well as a number of the team into the Headspace Health team.
That's exciting. I mean, the last time I talked to you, you had just acquired Sayana. And so it's like acquisition at the top of Q1, acquisition at the top of Q4. I mean, like exciting stuff happening there. So that fits in with the story, Russ. I'm happy to see that. Naomi, I want to ask you, both of you guys, when you started out telling, the story that you and Marah experienced yourselves looking for this kind of content and not seeing yourselves reflected, and as Russ was just saying, accessibility for mental health is just difficult across the board, but particularly among diverse populations. Give us a sense, Naomi, of just like how deep this issue really runs, because I think that all of us in healthcare are like aware that these are problems, but it's like, how big of a problem is this that we're not seeing the type of populations and diversity represented in self-care or mental health content? Like, put it into some context for us.
I think it's one of the greatest opportunities of our times when we think about the destigmatization of mental health. I think has made a lot of strides in the last couple of years, right? It used to be really taboo to talk about your mental health at work. I think that's changed. I think the next chapter and the next real need is the intersectionality of all of that, right? We are all coming to our day, our work, our relationships with our own experiences. And there's a reality that because of different systems and life experiences or systems of oppression, people are going to have a multitude of things that they're dealing with, often related to, particularly as a marginalized person, things that are harder and need more acute care and need more proactive care, and also need to feel seen. So a lot of people may know this, but if you are a member of a marginalized community, you're going to experience different mental health struggles at a higher rate than say if your non-white identity versus someone who's white, in kind of like looking at broad generalizations. The care and the representation from an access perspective is going to be underrepresented, so that creates a gap. And I know that's something that we're really excited that Headspace Health has been talking about for some time and working to fix. I think it boils down very simply to, when you are struggling with something and it's a specific experience, you want to be talking and meeting someone and kind of feeling seen by someone from a shared experience, right? That makes you feel validated in what you're going through. So what we saw at Shine and what we're really excited to scale at Headspace Health is just elevating more backgrounds and experiences will help people feel like they're not alone in what they're going through. And also, really importantly, give them the vocabulary of what they're going through. One of our most important pieces of content that we ever published and was our most popular was around the concept of representation burnout, feeling like you might be the only identity, the only one in a room. And what does that mean if you're the only woman or person of color or person that maybe has some type of physical difference? You feel a responsibility and an added level of burden to kind of represent all. And that's just, it's a lot on your mental health. And so giving our community the term representation burnout, they're like, oh, that's what I've been feeling. And it's something so simple as 2 words, but it created a sense of ease and care that didn't exist prior.
Naomi, literally that gave me goosebumps. I have not heard that phrase, but yeah, I can totally, that really does capture that sentiment. Really. Russ, add on to this for me, because from your vantage point, like you said, this acquiring Shine fast tracks with what work you guys were already doing to try to improve, the diversity and inclusiveness and the sense of belonging in the content that people can find using Headspace. But say a little bit more about that problem side of it. So give us a sense from curating the variety of solutions that you guys have over at Headspace, whether it be like the traditional meditation type stuff on the, direct to consumer piece, or even the more mental health care focused stuff that is legacy Ginger. Now that that's all together, what gaps were you seeing in terms of this content that was really diverse, inclusive, representative, that really generated that sense of belonging? Help us understand the problem as you were seeing it.
Well, some of the problem is just a focus one. The fact that this team has been thinking about this very specifically for the last 6 years, and this is what they spend their time. You saw it there, right? Like the education of being able to focus on this and to bring that into our ecosystem and ensure that we have the very best thought that is going into this. And they've created an experience, like literally an award-winning experience that has like an 86 NPS. I mean, people love it. 90 customers. And I've talked to customers that have said, this is one of our most beloved resources, right? This is the kind of thing as a platform like a Headspace Health that as we're innovating, my belief is you don't innovate by doing everything yourself. You innovate by looking at where are the gaps, where are the needs that will make your ecosystem better, and then deciding, are there great ways to bring others into that fold? Are there ways to partner for that, or are there ways to build that? And this is just one of those examples of focused expertise that we can now bring in and make everything we do better, right? So it's not just the specific populations that they've been focused on. This gets infused throughout everything we do. We have people joining the engineering team, the client success team. We have people joining the marketing team. We have people joining the product team. And so now you've got this ecosystem that's built internally where we get better at everything we do inside and can bring that to the world in a more expansive and expressive way.
All right, so Naomi, I understand you and Marah are hanging around too. You're going to see this transition. You're becoming part of Headspace Health. So talk to me a little bit about that. And I mean, what I'm curious to hear about is, okay, so now you're like, you've taken those 45,000 users, and the last time I got a number, from Headspace, it was like in the millions, right? I mean, so it's like, what happens next? I mean, what are you excited about? And what does success look like for you as you start to make inroads and in that whole world, the entire platform that Headspace Health includes, in terms of trickling in, this content that is more representative?
Yeah, I think like Russ said, we're just really excited about the partnership and truly building together. For us, as founders, you have this mission and you have this vision of where you see the world going, and scale is one of the biggest things that you want to achieve. And there's just no denying that by us becoming part of the Headspace Health team, we'll be able to take our mission and scale it in a way that's just next level. And we're really excited about the fact that, like you said, Russ, will be across the whole organization, and we'll just get to build together. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is that feeling when you're like, you maybe get up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, I can't forget to do that thing because it's so imminent and immediate and I got to jump on it. And I think that's really talking about mental health in the workplace. Specifically, again, the destigmatization of mental health has made huge strides in the last couple of years, but we cannot lose it. And I think there's always fatigue that happens in the wake of the pandemic or Zoom fatigue or whatever it may be. And we need to keep the conversation and the change happening. And I think the next step, and this is something that I'm really excited to work on the Headspace Health side, is in leadership workshops. Because the reality is the individual can do as much work every single day. They can journal, they can meditate, they can get grounded, but you have to go out into the world and you have to interact with maybe a tough boss or a tough relationship. And the training at the top is what is so key for, I think, long-term change. And so that's something I'm really excited to work on and build out. And then I know Dr. Wisdom Powell is a really just powerful leader at Headspace Health. The work that we're going to do to help more people feel seen and supported, talk more specifically about issues. Like let's get specific about how different communities need different, they need the foundation, but they also, just like a specialist doctor, might need something more specific to their experience. And so my view is everyone is able to experience Headspace Health and have this integrated, comprehensive experience that makes you just feel seen, they get me. And I know that that's already happened, and we're just excited to be part of that continual growth in this next chapter.
That sounds awesome. All right, Russ, let's wrap this conversation up with a little bit of a Headspace Health update for us. So I think Naomi set you up perfectly about these leadership workshops. I want to hear a little bit more about that, and then also more broadly, just what's going on. But a quick update on those leadership workshops. Talk to me about those and how that came about and how those are going.
We saw a huge need organizationally to help leaders, managers have some of these hard conversations. What we were finding was we have people throughout the organization getting access to our content, to our self-care, to our mental health care, but structurally, there wasn't change happening in a way that was cross-organization. And that is so important. You have to change things at a structural level if you're really going to affect the burnout of an organization. If you're really going to affect, some of the issues that, underrepresented communities face in an organization. And so we've launched these leadership workshops, and really what we're trying to do is help leaders, managers be able to raise these topics, be able to build a compassionate leadership strategy, be able to, recognize the signs of burnout and recognize when somebody might be struggling, but then have insight into what to do from there. So it's really a change agent we're trying to create. And the amount of interest has been, pretty staggering, right? It is so clear that organizations are thirsting for this, and they don't exactly know how to address it now. So very excited about that. And then more broadly, a big focus is, our connected experience. So bringing together the Headspace experience with the Ginger care experience, and the V1 of that connected experience launches in January. We just closed the largest deal of our joint company's history in order to launch that joint experience in January. So extremely exciting.
Do we get to know?
You don't get to know.
You
don't get to know yet. Growth mindset. You don't get to know yet. But when the timing is right, we'll let you know. But it is, it's a game-changing relationship for us. And it really, again, very exciting internally, because it starts to prove out the power of what we're doing by creating the most comprehensive, accessible, end-to-end mental health platform in the world.
I can't wait to hear this news. Man, have we come a long way from the workforce attitudes survey interviews that we used to do. I can't wait to hear about this big deal. How exciting, the full end-to-end integration of everything that Headspace and Ginger have to offer. How exciting. You have to come back.
Well, and now it will include all of the Shine goodness.
All the Shine content.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And one last question for you, Russ. I got to ask this because you and I have not spoken since the very beginning of January of this year, 2022. Did you get to meet John Legend when he did the Super Bowl commercial? Did you get to meet him? Did you? Tell us. We got to know.
John and I had a shared stage. I didn't get to meet him because he had to do it virtually, but we communicated, we talked live on stage, but he was virtual and I was live. So it's not official, I don't think. I don't think you count that even in today's virtual world.
I'd count that.
Close.
I'd
count that?
Yeah, I'd count that.
I count it too. Honestly, thanks, Amy. I count that too.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of value that we're bringing to the team here.
I would absolutely count that.
No, I think I'd count that too. That's closer than I'm ever going to get. John Legend literally spoke to you. That's closer than I'm ever going to get. Naomi, maybe you have a shot at getting better than I am, but
I'd be honored. But Russ, I feel like you're leading that chart right now.
Well, if it's not too late to write that into that deal contract, I would maybe rethink. But, hey, congratulations, you guys, on this. This is exciting. Can't wait to see how all of this pans out. And I love the fact that this is really going to make such a difference in so many people's lives, especially as, Naomi, your and Marah's content starts to just, seep its way through that entire full end-to-end Headspace Ginger, continuum, and all the different types of care services that it provides to people with their mental health and self-care. And, it's exciting stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Always.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, and Russ, we better talk to you soon, buddy. We better.
I'm here. I'm here for you.
All right, can't wait to hear the news. Until then, the big news today, Headspace Health acquired the Shine app. And thank you so much to Naomi and Russ for stopping by to give us all of the details that they could about that deal. I'll talk to you guys soon. And for more interviews with the who's who of health tech as they are changing the way that we do healthcare, head on over to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/WTF Health. I'm Jessica Damaso. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.